They thought you would forget, didn't they? Thought time would heal the wounds, make you weak, turn you into one of them, just another face in the crowd, another puppet with broken strings, another lost soul too scared to face their own reflection. They were counting on it. Counting on your silence, your surrender. They thought you would let it go, let it sit inside you like a wound that never heals. But you didn't forget. You never forget. You carry the weight of every knife they stuck in your back, every lie they told you with a smile, every moment they left you hurting while they laughed. And now it's time to make things right. Let's be clear, this isn't about childish revenge. No, revenge is for weak people who can't handle their pride being hurt. This is about justice. This is about justice. The kind of justice the world never gives because it's too busy protecting the guilty, making excuses for them, praising them while the ones who suffer are told to stay quiet. They built their success on your pain, sat there proud as if they earned it, as if they were always meant to win. But what happens when their world starts to fall apart? When the one they thought was weak finally stands up? When the forgotten refuse to stay forgotten? I'll tell you what happens. Chaos. Pure, unstoppable chaos. The kind that doesn't knock, doesn't ask for permission, doesn't follow rules made by cowards. The kind that finally makes them afraid. You see, strong people don't fear justice, they accept it because they know they can face it. But the guilty? They're the ones who shake when they hear footsteps in the dark. The liars? They're the ones who sweat when the truth comes knocking. The backstabbers? They start praying when they realize the person they tried to destroy is still standing, but you already know that, don't you? You felt it, that slow fire in your gut, the quiet voice in your head telling you this isn't over. Not even close. You wake up every day feeling the weight of what they did, pressing on your chest like a heavy stone. But here you are. Still breathing. Still standing. They don't understand. They think pain breaks people like you. But it doesn't. It builds you. Sharpens you. Turns you into something they can't control, can't predict, can't stop. Let me tell you a secret. The worst thing they did wasn't betraying you. No, the worst thing they did was underestimating you. They thought pain would destroy you. Instead, it made you stronger, stronger than they will ever be. The world tells people like you that you only have two choices: forgive and forget, or become the monster they always said you were. But there's a third choice, one they don't want you to see. You don't forgive. You don't turn into a monster. You remember. You learn. You rise. And when the time is right, you act. People like them love comfort. They want the world to stay the same, so they can keep their hands clean while others suffer for their mistakes. They talk about kindness, about fairness, about how you should be the better person. Funny, isn't it? How the ones who hurt you the most always talk about peace when they realize they might lose. They want you weak. They want you to feel guilty while they walk free. But tell me, where was their guilt when they tore you apart? Where was their shame when you were hurting, wondering why no one cared? No. They don't get to make the rules anymore. You do. But here's where most people make mistakes. They think justice means shouting, acting without thinking, making rash moves just to feel alive. That's what fools do. You move smart. You let patience be your weapon, let silence be your shield. You watch. You wait. You make sure every move you make is the right one, not driven by blind rage, but by something sharper. You see, the best payback isn't loud. It doesn't come with fireworks or bloodshed. No, the best payback is a whisper that grows into a storm, a presence they can't shake, a shadow that follows them no matter how much light they hide behind. And when that moment comes, when the weight of their own lies crushes them, when the walls they built start to crumble, when they look over their shoulder and see the one person they never wanted to face standing right there, that's when it all makes sense. That's when the real fun begins. So tell me, are you ready? Are you ready to make them remember? Because they thought you'd forget. Thought time would cover up their actions. Thought you'd fade away like a ghost with no voice, no fight, no reason to exist beyond the pain they left you with. But ghosts don't disappear, do they? No. They haunt. They linger. And sometimes, they come back stronger than anyone ever imagined. It's time to remind them. Time to show them exactly who they tried to bury. Because you never forgot. And neither will they. You know what's funny? They walked away thinking it was over. Thinking you were just another casualty, another name on their list of people who wouldn't make it. Another victory for them. They smiled while you suffered, slept peacefully while you drowned in your own thoughts. And for a while, maybe you believed it too. Maybe you thought they won. Maybe you sat in the dark, fists clenched, wondering why people like them always seem to win while people like you are left picking up the broken pieces. But that's the thing about broken things. They can be rebuilt. Stronger. Sharper. More dangerous, and now here you are. Not a victim. Not a statistic. Not a forgotten footnote in someone else's story. You are the storm they never saw coming. You see, they follow a simple pattern: hurt, discard, move on. They expect you to collapse under the weight of it all. Expect you to crumble like everyone before you. But what happens when the pattern breaks? What happens when the one they left in the dirt doesn't just get up, but stands taller, walks stronger, breathes deeper? That's when panic sets in. That's when reality hits them. Because it was never just about what they did to you. It was always about what you were going to do after. They never feared your pain. Pain is predictable. Pain can be controlled. What they fear is what comes after the pain. What they fear is the moment you stop mourning and start moving. You've been silent long enough. You've let the world tell you how to feel, how to act, how to heal. But healing isn't pretending. It's not about covering up the cracks and calling it a day. No. Real healing is war. It's standing in the wreckage and deciding, this is not where my story ends. It's picking up every shattered piece of yourself and turning it into something new. Something unbreakable. Something they never saw coming. And when you do, when you walk past the ruins of who you used to be and step into the fire of who you are, that's when the world takes notice. They will talk. Oh, they will talk. They'll call you obsessed. Call you ruthless. Say you're too much. They'll whisper behind your back, twisting the story so they look like the victims and you look like the villain. Because that's what people like them do. They rewrite history to fit their own lies, and you let them talk. Let them spin their little stories. Because words don't change reality. Reality is you. The undeniable, unshakable proof that they didn't break you the way they thought they did. Reality is watching them choke on their own arrogance when they realize that the same person they threw away is the same person they now fear. This isn't about getting even. Getting even means playing by their rules, no. This is about something much bigger. This isn't about playing by their rules, it's about rewriting them entirely. The past isn't a graveyard, it's a battlefield. And you're not just another casualty. You are the reckoning, the one thing they never expected, never prepared for, but they will. Oh, they will. Because life has a way of balancing the scales. When their own actions come back to haunt them, when their choices start clawing at their minds, when they see your face and realize their past has caught up with them, that's when real justice begins. But you must be smart. You must be patient. Rage burns fast and fades just as quickly. You are the slow burn, the quiet force, the shadow that moves in silence, waiting for the right moment to strike. The worst kind of vengeance isn't the one they see coming. It's the one they never even notice until it's too late. You don't chase them. You don't scream into the void, hoping they hear you. No. You build. You rise. You become something so strong, so unstoppable, that their entire existence looks small in comparison. That's the real punishment. That's the real justice. They don't get to win. They don't get to walk away thinking they ruined you. And here's the best part, when they see you again, when they hear your name, when they realize you're still here, still standing, still thriving, watch their faces. Watch the panic settle in. Watch the fear creep in like a nightmare they can't escape, because now, for the first time, they are the ones who are afraid. Afraid of the past. Afraid of the consequences. Afraid of you, so tell me, what will you do now? Now that the pain they caused no longer controls you. Now that your scars aren't signs of suffering, but proof of survival. Now that the power is in your hands, because this is your moment. They thought you'd forget. But now it's time for payback, and here's the thing about payback, it's not loud. It's not a fight in the streets or a dramatic showdown. Payback is quiet. It's precise. It's the slow, creeping weight of consequence wrapping around them tighter with every choice they made, every lie they told, every betrayal they thought would stay buried. Payback isn't about proving them wrong in the moment. It's about letting time do the talking. Letting their own actions become the noose they tied for themselves. Because the truth always catches up. And when it does, it doesn't knock, it breaks down the door. You don't need to chase them. They will run in circles, trying to outrun their own guilt, their own cowardice, their own past. They will see shadows where there are none, hear footsteps in the silence, feel eyes on them even when they are alone. Because deep down, they know what they did. And they know that no matter how far they run, there will come a day when they have to answer for it. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But one day, they will feel it, the weight of every lie, every betrayal, every moment they let you suffer while they laughed. And when that day comes, when they wake up in a world where you are no longer beneath them but above them, watch them crumble. Watch the panic in their eyes as they realize the same person they dismissed, underestimated, and tried to destroy is now the same person they fear, and fear. Fear is the real punishment. Not pain. Not revenge. Fear. That constant, gnawing terror that never fades. The whisper in the back of their mind that won't go away. The reminder that no matter how much time passes, the past is never truly buried. The ghosts of their sins will always return, because the people they crushed under their feet, they rise again. They will never find peace, because they know what they've done. No matter how much they pretend, no matter how carefully they build their illusions, there will always be that whisper in the dark reminding them, you were never safe, and neither were you. For years, maybe your whole life, you walked through fire, wondering if the pain would ever stop. But the world doesn't save people like you. The world doesn't care about fairness or justice. It only cares about power, who has it, who controls it, and who is willing to take it back. That's where they miscalculated. They thought you would stay powerless, that you'd accept your place as the forgotten one. The one who would fade into nothing while they carried on with their perfect little lives. But you didn't. You refused. Because suffering does one of two things. It breaks you, or it builds you. And you let it build you. Every betrayal became a lesson. Every scar became a symbol. Every moment of weakness became the foundation for something stronger, something unshakable. Something they will never understand, because they've never had to survive the way you did. They don't know what it's like to lose everything and still rise, but they will. One day, they'll stand where you once stood. They'll feel what you felt. They'll know what it means to be abandoned, betrayed, left with nothing but regret, and when that day comes, you won't have to lift a finger. Their own sins will do the work for you. That's the part they'll never see coming. They expect you to be angry, to lash out, to scream for revenge. That's what they want. Because if you lose control, they win. If you let your emotions blind you, they get to paint you as the villain, the crazy one. But you don't give them that satisfaction. You don't waste energy chasing ghosts when you can become something far more terrifying. You let your silence haunt them. You let your growth be the answer to every question they never wanted to ask. You let your success be the only vengeance you need. Because the truth is, there's no greater punishment than watching the person they tried to break become untouchable. Watching the person they expected to disappear become the one thing they can never escape. Watching you win, not because of them, but in spite of them. So let them wonder. Let them lie awake at night, piecing together the puzzle of their own downfall. Let them pretend they don't care while the truth eats them alive, because you're already gone. You've already moved beyond them, and the best part, they'll spend the rest of their lives trying to figure out how they lost a game they didn't even realize they were playing. That's the beauty of it. They thought you'd forget, but now, they'll never forget you. And that is the real nightmare. Not that you'll come knocking. Not that you'll scream or throw fists. That would be too easy. Too predictable. No, your silence is the real punishment. Because irrelevance is worse than pain. Knowing, day by day, that they no longer hold power over you. That they don't matter. That their lies, their betrayals, their cruelty, were nothing more than stepping stones on your path to something greater. That's what will destroy them, not your fists, not your fury, but the fact that you let them go. Because here's the truth no one likes to admit: the ones who betray you, the ones who try to break you, they need you. They need you to react, to fight, to validate their importance. Because the moment you let them go, they become nothing. The moment you stop caring, they cease to exist. They weren't as powerful as they thought. And for people like them, those who thrive on control, manipulation, and feeding off the pain of others, that's the worst fate imaginable. You don't have time for ghosts. You don't have time to replay their words, their betrayals, their empty promises. Every second wasted on them is a second stolen from your future, a future they have no place in. That's the difference between you and them. They destroy. You create, they break. You build, they lie. You live, and in the end, that's what separates the strong from the weak. But make no mistake, there will be days when the memories creep in. When the weight of what they did threatens to pull you under. When the questions claw at your mind: why? Why did they turn on you? Why weren't you enough? And on those days, you have a choice. You can sink. Let them win. Let their actions dictate your future, or you can rise. Take the pain, the loss, the grief, and forge it into something stronger, because that's what warriors do. They don't let wounds fester. They don't let scars define them. They wear them as armor, as proof that they survived what others could not. And you are still here. They thought they'd break you, erase you, turn you into nothing more than a fading memory. But time didn't bury you, it sharpened you. It turned you into something they will never understand. Something they can never undo. That is the price they pay, not today, not tomorrow, but eventually, when they realize you were never theirs to break, because the past belongs to them, but the future is yours. That's what they will never accept, the truth they will never escape. That you walked away from the wreckage they left you in and built something untouchable. They wanted to be the author of your downfall. The ghost that haunted you forever. Instead, they became nothing more than a lesson. A warning. A scar, not of shame, but of power, and that will torment them in ways they never imagined. Because they wanted to matter. They convinced themselves they were your greatest pain, your biggest loss, your deepest wound, but in reality, they were just another stepping stone, a temporary storm you endured, a shadow in a past that no longer holds you hostage. That's the cruelest part of it all, isn't it? They thought they were significant. They thought they won. But now, they are ghosts, lost in a world where they no longer have a place. And while they spend their days looking back, rewriting history in their favor, convincing themselves they were the victims, you are moving forward, faster, stronger, untouchable, and the worst part for them, you don't care anymore. That's the real punishment, not pain, not vengeance, just indifference, because they lost something priceless, your loyalty, your trust, your presence, and now they have to live with that loss. Every single day, whether they admit it or not. You don't need their apologies, their weak little excuses. You don't need to hear why they did what they did, why they thought it was okay, why they slept soundly while you drowned. Because none of it matters now, none of it ever did. They were just another lesson. And you are no longer the person they betrayed. That version of you is gone, buried, and what rose from the ashes, something they could never control, never manipulate, never hurt again, and so they watch. Oh, they may pretend not to. Act like they've moved on, like they're too busy, too important, too powerful to care about you now. But we both know the truth. They see you. We both know that every victory you take, every step you climb, every breath you take in defiance of their expectations kills them, because they wanted to be the reason you fell. Instead, they became the reason you rose, and now, all they can do is watch as you walk further and further away from the cage they built for you. From the version of yourself they thought would never escape, and that's where their torment truly begins. Not in the moment they betrayed you, not in the moment they laughed while you suffered, not even in the moment they walked away thinking they had won. No, their torment begins now. In the long, empty years ahead where they are forced to watch you rise. Forced to witness the reality they never prepared for. Because in their minds, you were supposed to stay broken, you were supposed to live your life in ruins, dragging yourself through the dirt, begging for closure, for understanding, for some explanation that would never come. That was the future they saw for you, a life defined by their absence, a story where they were the main character, the villain you could never overcome, but you did, and not just that, you thrived. You took everything they did to you and used it as fuel. You let the betrayals, the heartbreak, the suffering harden you, sharpen you, mold you into something unbreakable, and now they're the ones left in the dust, choking on the consequences of their own actions. Because they thought it would be easy, they thought you would crumble, and they would move on, free and clear, without a second thought. But the universe has a funny way of working, doesn't it? It doesn't let people like them escape their sins so easily. It doesn't let them erase the past just because it's inconvenient. No, the past follows them, stalks them, crawls into their mind late at night when everything is quiet, whispering reminders of what they did, of what they lost, of what they can never undo. And that's the part they didn't anticipate. They thought you'd be the one stuck in the past, reliving the pain over and over again. But now, they're the ones who can't escape it. They're the ones looking over their shoulder, wondering if they made the wrong choice. Wondering if they'll ever find something real again. Because here's the thing, people like them never win in the end. Oh, they think they do at first. They get away with their betrayal. They get to rewrite the story. They get to move on while the people they hurt are left behind, picking up the pieces. But then, something happens. The truth catches up, reality sets in, and they realize they didn't just lose you. They lost everything you brought with you. Because you weren't just another person in their life. You weren't just another name, another forgettable face, another stepping stone they could discard without consequence. No, you were different. You were real. You were loyal in ways they will never understand. In ways they will never experience again. And now that you are gone, truly gone, they start to see the difference. They start to notice the emptiness, the hollowness, the lack of something they once took for granted. They start to realize that everyone else around them is shallow, temporary, nothing like what they had with you. And the worst part, they will never have it again. Because once you betray someone like you, there is no going back, there is no second chance. There is only regret, and that regret, that's the slow poison that will eat away at them for the rest of their lives. Not all at once, no, that would be too easy. It will come in waves. In the quiet moments. In the empty spaces. In the nights where no amount of noise can drown out the truth. And that is the price they pay, not today, not tomorrow, but forever, because they thought they won. But now, they are ghosts. And you are moving forward, faster, stronger, untouchable. And the real nightmare for them, you don't even care anymore. That's the real punishment. Not pain, not vengeance, just indifference. Because they lost something priceless. Your loyalty. Your trust, your presence. And now they have to live with that loss, every single day, whether they admit it or not. It would be too easy if it hit them all at once. No, it will come in pieces. In flashes. In little moments when they least expect it. A song, a place, a conversation, a face in a crowd that reminds them of you. And suddenly, they'll feel it, that ache. That emptiness. That realization that they can never go back to the way things were. And it will drive them mad. Because people like them, they don't know how to live with regret. They don't know how to face the truth. They've spent their whole lives running from it. Covering it up with lies, distractions, temporary pleasures. But some ghosts don't go away. Some mistakes don't get buried. Some losses never stop hurting. And you don't have to do a thing. You don't have to reach out. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to keep going. Because every step you take, every success you achieve, every moment you live without them, it's another dagger in their heart. Another reminder that they were wrong, that they bet against the wrong person, that they thought they could break you, only to realize they built you. And now they have to live with that knowledge. Every single day, and that is justice, no revenge. No anger. No wasted breath, just you, existing, thriving, moving forward, while they are left behind, trapped in the prison of their own making, shackled by their own regrets, haunted by the one thing they never wanted to admit, that they needed you more than you ever needed them. They thought you'd forget, but now they will never forget you.